The following program is intended for mature audiences.
A democratic republic of sports. The Sportsocracy with ESPN Asheville hosts Tank Spencer and Jeremy Greene.
And welcome into the Sportsocracy. I'm Tank Spencer. Jeremy Greene's alongside. It is a Tuesday morning, and we are live in the Wicked Weed studio. Check them out at wickedweedbrewing.com. Wicked Weed Brewing, drink different last night in the Home Run Derby. I told you. Calling my shot on the Home Run Derby. I don't get to do this very often. Exactly what I said baseball should have been afraid of happened last night in the Home Run Derby. Shohei Ohtani gets knocked out in the first round because they have the stupid bracket idea of the 1 seed against the 8 seed and so on and so forth. It's dumb. It's absolutely dumb. The 4 guys that actually made the semifinals, 2 of the guys that should have been in the semifinals got knocked out in the first round.
Yeah.
Because baseball. And how much of the Home Run Derby did you watch, Jeremy?
I have a sound effect for that.
No. Not even a single second.
No.
Come on, it was fun. It was a fun night. Trey Mancini, everybody by the end of it, I think, was pulling for Trey Mancini, the cancer survivor, to win it all. And then you had old head bobbing Pete Alonso.
Kevin Vick said having a home run derby in Denver's like having a pie eating contest at Weight Watchers. What the hell's the point? I kind of agree.
So what are you saying? Too many home runs? Is that the idea here, Kevin? There were too many home runs for you.
You know.
I mean, a home run derby can't have too many home runs, can it?
Yes.
Nah.
The whole premise of the thing's so damn stupid. Just let them hit one time, then let the last 2 do it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there were like 200 home runs last night. Who gives a shit?
Actually, we might have given more of a shit if we could actually see the home runs as they happen. Our TV partners, the old ESPN, they did not do a good job last night. I was totally confused throughout the whole thing. So they did this split screen where the batter was here in this vision, and then in this view there was the outfield. And constantly, this camera is moving, trying to find the home runs because they're hitting at such a rapid pace because they're on the time clock now. There's no more of this, like it used to be in the old days. And Chris Berman, either they'd take a swing and Chris Berman have to have the long back, the home run, all that shit. No, I don't miss that.
No,
I don't miss that at all. However, I do kind of miss the ability to sit back and go, damn, he hit that one far. Because it's just one after another, and it's hard to keep up with just how majestic some of these home runs were. Majestic. That's what you call it when you hit it real fucking far.
Yep. At the end of the day, baseball.
Oh, stop that. It's the one time a year that I would think that you could actually get into it.
Why? To watch them hit batting practice? Yeah, I'll pass. There's nothing about that since Ken Griffey Jr. that's really done jack dick for me.
Oh, God.
Oh, and here's the other problem you have in baseball. I didn't know half the people in your home run derby.
Well,
I do this for a living. I didn't know who half these dudes were.
Yeah, but you also willfully ignore baseball to a certain point. I mean, baseball fans, I think, look, we didn't get Fernando Tatis. We didn't get...
Yeah, I know who that is.
We didn't get Vlad Guerrero Jr. Yes, it sucks, but to me, it's way better than the slam dunk contest.
I mean, the slam dunk contest has the same problem. Nobody knows who half those dudes are. Mm-hmm. I do because I evaluated them when they got drafted.
Mm-hmm. And to me, there's more. I don't know. It's just there's more. There's more of it.
I mean, that is a common theme in baseball. There's more of it.
There's more of it. Pete Alonso wins back-to-back home run derbies. Shohei Ohtani got knocked out in the first round. Everybody that was watching it, I don't think there were too many people that turned it off just because Shohei Ohtani lost. But to me, it's just another baseball standing in its own way of the best.
That's what baseball does.
Right. It's the best possible event that you could have. And would you not have been more thrilled to see Shohei Ohtani last more than one round.
Yep, he was out, and I only knew this from Twitter. He was out literally before I even remembered it was on television.
Yeah.
Like, oh, bye. The one person I gave a rat's ass about, he gone.
Exactly. I mean, it was a nice little matchup there in the first round, but that was part of the criticism that most people on social media had about it. Was it took too goddamn long to get done with the first round, because you got to do tiebreakers for all of these matchups.
Oh, let me get this straight. Hold on.
Yep.
You're saying that something in baseball took too long? Son of a bitch.
I know it's a shocker.
New.
I know it's a shocker, but no, I mean, the first round took forever to get over because you had, Pete Alonso and Salvador Perez knocking 63 home runs between the two of them.
And then nobody cared.
And then you had the 2 overtime swing off with Juan Soto and Shohei Ohtani, which never would have happened.
You never need to have a swing off ever.
Not in the first damn round.
Nobody gives a shit.
No, it's very simple. You take the top 4 performers from the first round and you move them on to the semifinals. It doesn't have to be this matchup thing where we have to do tiebreakers every goddamn round. That's the thing that takes. If you get down to the finals and then you got to have the swing offs, that's the place for that. But baseball looks at it and goes, oh no, we create more urgency for every round. Yeah, and you just got your star player knocked out in the first round of your premier event of the season.
Because.
Yeah, and then tonight we got the All-Star game. Shohei Ohtani going to lead off and pitch. Everybody's excited about it. We're not going to watch it, though.
We're not going to bet the over-under on the number of pitches of this I see.
Right. We're not going to watch it, though.
If it doesn't start with under, you did it wrong.
Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, in sports that nobody's paying attention to right now, the USA basketball team has lost.
Suck.
They have lost 2 exhibition games now. First to Nigeria the other day, and then yesterday they lose to Australia. And you got to ask yourself, what's going on?
They're not good. It's been that I actually have watched a little bit of, oddly enough, on YouTube.
Okay.
Always fun when you have to watch your sports on YouTube. Thank you.
We love YouTube.
We heart YouTube. It's not good. It doesn't look right. It looks very disjointed. Draymond Green is do less. Draymond, do less. That's my best piece of advice. You should be doing less things.
Right.
And everybody just looks tired. It's not good.
They haven't shot the ball well. They're just, I don't know. What do you say? Live by the 3, die by the 3?
Well, it's official. It's no longer we can just show up.
No.
Well, no longer can the United States send 12 of the best 40 players in the world and just show up and beat teams. It doesn't work like that anymore. Mm-hmm. I will be honest with you. I will be nominally surprised if they actually win this in Tokyo.
I won't.
I will.
I won't be shocked at all.
Because it's ugly.
I mean, I get it, but they also don't have their full complement of players right now.
And they're probably not going to. If you're not watching what's happening with the Open right now, traveling out of the United States, shit gets a little weird.
Right.
Speaking of that, in the description of this video is the link to our DraftKings contest for the Open Championship.
Nice.
You can take another swing at Flowstradamus himself, and I'm going to level with you. This might be the hardest major pricing-wise I've ever seen. If you have 2 really good players in your lineup, you're probably doing it wrong.
Ooh, I can't wait to do one so you can make fun of me.
I'm 100% going to. Adam Black and I probably both will if I had to bet.
That's fine. That's fine. I got to get in on the action somehow.
Well, this is one of those. Where you better know the deep divey guys. And I'll be putting out a video tomorrow of who those deep divey guys are.
Excellent.
Yeah. So if you want to make a little money on the Open, I will show you what my board looks like, because I've got about 20 guys. There's very few cheap guys that you want because they're all sitting at home.
It does very well appear now with 2 straight losses by the U.S. team that the era of U.S. dominance has come to an end. Now, is that because the level of play for us has diminished?
Because we care less.
Or is it because the international squads have become better?
It's because we care less. We care less than we ever have. And it sucks for me because we're the most talented team. Mm-hmm. We also just showed up and went, hey, I know you. I get to see you 3 times a year in the NBA. Let's play. These international teams, it doesn't work that way. Mm-mm. That Nigerian team, it was very obvious. They played way more basketball together. Mm-hmm. You know, Precious Achiuwa, who can't hardly get minutes in the NBA, was arguably the best player on the floor for extended periods of time. And that's just the way this goes. You said you won't be shocked if they win gold. I will be.
Nah.
Because I don't know how much you can improve this in a few weeks. It just looks disjointed, and nobody seems to really care. It's just,
it's just duh.
Hey, Stephen A. Smith pissed a bunch of people off.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, with his Shohei Ohtani comments?
Well, that, and then he said something about the Nigerian national team. Hadn't been a good 48 hours for old Stephen A.
What did he say about the Nigerian national team?
He made fun of one of them's name. I don't remember which player it was. But he made fun of somebody's name, and everybody freaked out because, Stephen A.
Oh, my God, Stephen A's a xenophobe!
Yeah.
Oh, God.
So what happens when you pander to one side of the masses?
Yeah.
They'll turn on you in a hurry.
Oh, yeah. They eat their own like no other. Kind of got what you asked for on that one. I mean, I understand what he said. I mean, I wouldn't have said it. Not on a national platform.
Yeah, in fairness, I think we pander to a slightly different.
Oh, absolutely.
We don't talk about politics on the show for a reason.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. There ain't no doubt about that.
Nope. No.
Speaking of names that are hard to pronounce, did you see what Khabib Nurmagomedov had to say?
I did. And guess what?
McGregor?
And guess what? I agreed with him.
Of course you did.
I agreed with every word he said.
He said Conor McGregor is finished after this, and that he could possibly be the same fighter if he didn't have broken legs.
Well, he also said he's a shitbird, and guess what? I agree with him. Because he is a shitbird.
Of course. That's the whole
I might
shtick.
have gone off for a minute yesterday on the ESPN radio show about Conor.
Yeah.
All right. Conor McGregor has officially become like Kardashian light to me. You haven't done anything that made you famous in 5 years. Now you sell whiskey and show up in nice suits. I will give the motherfucker credit. He does dress quite nicely. Mm-hmm. But he can't fight. He can't. I really think about how the fight went with Dustin Poirier. He tried to catch him in something that he didn't expect. By the way, if you listen to us, I told you that. Mm-hmm. I had heard that through the grapevine, that's what he's going to try to do, is submit him. And I thought it would work. And then I realized on Saturday, wait a minute, if I know this, if I've heard this, I would say Dustin Poirier's probably heard this. Mm-hmm. And it's because strike for strike, he can't go with these guys anymore. Yeah. He just can't. He's too worried about selling whiskey and being a crazy person on social media.
The crazy person part is pretty high up on that list. Uh-huh. He has lived the character so long, he still believes it to be true. Mm-hmm. And when you have, $100 million in the bank, it takes away a little bit of your edge. The sparky, fiery Irish guy who's just out to set his mark doesn't really play well after you've already set your mark. And you've already become bigger than the game, basically. Mm-hmm. I want it to be true. I want it to still be there, but I really have my doubts about that. And when he matches up with Nate Diaz, I don't think this is over by any stretch. Nurmagomedov was saying that the UFC should just move on, and I think that's the dumbest thing he could have said. UFC absolutely still needs Conor McGregor, in my opinion. He still sells better than anybody. This last fight with Dustin Poirier, you said what was the buy on that? Like
1.8 million.
Okay, $1.8 million. Or 1.8 million subscriptions, right? To the fight.
Pay-per-view buys.
Yeah. Nobody else sells like Conor McGregor. And I think the UFC understands that. And they've, there will be a time where he has outlived his usefulness, but I don't think it's here. Especially after the way the fight ended with Poirier, that's definitely a fight that you can sell again. And we're going to see a McGregor-Poirier 4. And we're going to see him probably fight Nate Diaz when he comes back from his injury. That'll be the setup fight. Do you think he can beat Nate Diaz?
Yes, I do. I do. I think he could beat Nate Diaz, and that's going to be the problem. Mm-hmm. And now Khabib does not believe that.
No.
He thinks it would be an immediate just ass kicking, and it could be. It could be. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, I think Conor's going to always be a draw, and you're not going to see good fights, which is I hate watching guys go out like this. And we've seen it so many times. Chuck Liddell did this. I mean, Randy Couture did this. Ken Shamrock's still doing this. I think Ken Shamrock's
still fighting?
Probably. Dan Severn might be fighting a grizzly bear at this point. It wouldn't shock me in the least. It's this whole raspy thing going on today. I don't know where that came from.
Are you catching the sickness? Are you
I
down with
don't
the
know.
sickness?
I've all of a sudden I've gotten all raspy and shit.
I don't like that even just a little
Not
bit.
nary a little bit?
Oh no, we've got breaking news.
Uh-oh.
WWE Hall of Famer, Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff, dead at the age of 71.
Well, here's the thing. That would be breaking news, except for the fact that it happened yesterday.
Did it?
Yeah.
This is the first I've seen it.
Yeah, it's not breaking news when it happened 24 hours ago.
Well, it's breaking news to me, and I'm in my feels about that.
Well, here's the thing.
That was a childhood hero. Who didn't like Mr. Wonderful?
I don't even know who that is. I've heard the name before, but I have absolutely no clue who that was.
Look.
Adam Black agrees with me. That wasn't breaking.
Dude.
I have no idea.
Oh, come on.
He looks like
you need
He-Man.
more wrestling. He does kind of look like He-Man. You need more wrestling in your life.
No, I'm good.
Apparently I do too, because I'm 20 hours late on the breaking news.
Yeah, I'll pass.
I just saw that flash across the screen. It's like, oh. We're talking NFL football. It's almost football time. We're almost there. I saw it today. It's 58 days. 58 days to the start of the season, and we got 28 days, I think it is, until the Hall of Fame game. We've been going down the best, worst-case scenarios for every team in the NFL division by division. We now feature the AFC East, where in the AFC East, of course, I think everybody expects the Buffalo Bills are going to run away with this division.
There's almost no way they don't. I see absolutely no way they don't. And their best-case scenario, since you brought up wrestling.
Yep.
Stephon, get the tables.
Get the tables. That's right. It's all over but the crying for this team.
I think they're the best team in the AFC.
In the AFC, period. Better than the Kansas City Chiefs.
I think they're better. Obviously, their inability to run last year scares me, but you still got Josh Allen. Mm-hmm. Having a quarterback that is my size and actually athletic, you're always going to be able to run it slightly well.
Yep.
He scores a red zone touchdown about every other week. I'm just not that worried about it. With Stephon Diggs, now look, I don't love the Emmanuel Sanders thing. That's a guy that I'm going to die on the shield of. I don't like that. I would much prefer you had kept John Brown. I think he's a better player at this point than Emmanuel Sanders is. Mm. The high side of Sanders is better, but he's hurt all the damn time. And then he just disappears for extended periods of time. But the defense is good. You've got a lockdown guy in Tre'Davious White. You brought back Milano. You brought back Darrell Williams. There's really nothing to not like with the Bills.
Mm-hmm. What is your biggest concern on the defensive side of the ball for them?
They have a lot of young pass rushers, but this might be one of those things of jack of all trades, master of none. Mm-hmm. I said before the draft, I like the career trajectory on Greg Rousseau. I like a lot. Mm-hmm. I didn't know how much of an impact he was going to be immediately. I've already heard that Carlos Basham Jr. has outproduced him in minicamp. I'm getting a little nervous about Russo. And having him with Jerry Hughes and all of the pieces. The D-line's very good. I don't know if you have that guy. The guy that I have to be scared of, that I have to double team. And that makes me a little nervous because there are teams on the schedule that are going to be able to throw the ball. You're going to have to be able to hit quarterbacks. Right. And I'm just not sure that they're going to do it on a regular basis.
Are you done with Ed Oliver?
No, I love Ed Oliver.
Really?
No, absolutely.
I've seen a lot of smack talk about Ed Oliver, especially in Buffalo Bills groups over this offseason of he's not the guy we thought he was.
Well, because people thought he was going to come in and be this unbelievable pass rusher. Because
that's what he was.
They've seen Quinnen Williams, because he played at Houston.
Right.
I mean, and don't get me wrong, he's a great player, but there's just not a lot of interior linemen that are going to come in and beat Aaron Donald.
No,
there's a reason
that's what he was
that
expected to be.
Yeah, and
that's
I always thought that was misguided.
Everybody thought Ed Oliver was going to be the next Aaron Donald, the next Ndamukong Suh.
If you remember when he got drafted, I was scared to death the Jets were going to draft him where we took Quinnen Williams. Because Quinnen Williams is a man. And I could not fathom passing on him for Ed Oliver. Now, that being said, I still think Ed Oliver's a really good player. Really good player.
How about the secondary? Past Tre'Davious White, do you have a problem? Can they upgrade at any of those spots?
I mean, I don't think you have to. I really don't. It's kind of a sum of all parts with them. Because I do like Levi Wallace. You know, we talked about Rashad Wildgoose at nauseum.
Right.
If for nothing else, because you thought his name was funny.
Right.
I just think this is a scheme fit defense. It's a sum of all parts, not, oh, look at all the stars. It's just a bunch of guys that fill a role in this defense. And I think it's going to be really good. I think this team is going to be dumb good. Josh Allen's my favorite to win MVP because I think he should have won it last year. I still maintain he should have won it last year. And yes, am I a little biased because I'd said it all year? Probably.
Yes, you absolutely are.
At the end of the day, who had more around him? Who had more around him, Aaron Rodgers or Josh Allen?
It was Aaron. Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. Take Josh Allen off the Bills, take Aaron Rodgers off the Packers. Packers still probably go 7-10, 8-9. The Bills might be 4-13. Because they can't run and they just have a superhuman quarterback.
Very well. That could be very well true. I think sky's the limit. Super Bowl aspirations definitely should be real with the Buffalo Bills if they can get past the hump of the Kansas City Chiefs. But it's a position that every other team except for the Chiefs would love to be in, of being just behind the team that we think could very well win the Super Bowl. Buffalo Bills are right there with them. Worst case scenario for them? I think it's the run game. I think that's the one thing that could go horribly wrong this year. All cats, no pegs.
Can't run a greasy peg up a cat's ass.
That's right.
That's the fear. Now, I will say, I do firmly believe Zach Moss is going to start running back this team.
I would agree with that.
I think we've seen what it is with Devin Singletary, and I like the pop of him. I just think he's that scat back. He needs to be a better receiver than he is to play that role. And I think that's why they've been reticent to do this. But if you could, in Buffalo, I think you're going to see them carve out a role where there's not necessarily a one. You see Zach Moss run between the tackles on first and second down, and then you see Singletary come out and be that explosive guy. Singletary does not need to be getting 15, 20 carries a game. He's very good, but he's a pop guy. And I just look at this team and go, you don't have to be you don't have to be a great running team, but you do have to be able to run a little bit.
Yeah.
And I thought Matt Breida would probably be, I thought he would have a role, but I keep hearing he's not going to make the team. So there's something to be, that makes me a little nervous. I think he's the most talented of the three running backs.
Really?
I like Matt Breida. I always have.
I mean, he's super fast, but
he's fast, and
But
All right, apparently
he does the little things better. Is that what you're saying?
Apparently, I'm the only person that doesn't remember this Paul Orndorff person.
Yeah.
I've never seen that person before in my life.
Oh, God. He was one of the greatest heels of all time.
I don't remember that person at all. But you got to remember, I'm only 34.
That's true.
So, like, when I came in, it was The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh, God. So you missed, like, the
earliest
like the Sting day, like the early Sting days.
I only remember Sting in black and white.
Oh, no.
I've seen pictures of him with the Ultimate Warrior, but I don't know.
I mean, Orndorff was still around at that time, but he was a bit player.
Yeah, that's why I don't remember him, because it was before me.
It was right in the heart of the '80s when he was the narcissist. No, that was Lex Luger. No, I think he used that same.
I remember Lex Luger.
Yeah. No, but he used that same kind of, I'm Mr. Wonderful. I'm the prettiest. And somebody who said in the comments earlier that Mr. Perfect was better than Mr. Wonderful.
Adam Black, and I agree with him, because I know who Mr. Perfect is.
No, stop that. You can count me out on that one.
Jason Trump said I missed the golden days. I very well may have. That may be why I had a very little run in pro wrestling. Like, I never, I tried to do it at one time. And anybody says that's not really, they're not really athletes, you're fucking wrong.
Nope, you're definitely wrong about that.
I learned very little, but I will suplex you one time completely safely, and I promise you'll go, oh, fuck this.
Anyway, yeah, very sad. Paul Orndorff dead at the age of 71. Back to the worst-case scenario for the Buffalo Bills. I'm trying to find fault other than injury that I could say the passing game is not going to work, that Josh Allen's not going to work. I don't see a regression coming. Right. Like, last year, he took the step everybody expected him to take.
I don't think anybody expected him to take that much of a step. No, I was super high on Josh Allen, and I didn't think he could be that guy.
Okay, maybe expected was the wrong word to use there. It was the step that he needed to take to become a star. He took, and he took that bull by the horns and wrestled it to the ground. I don't see a way that this team is bad. Barring some San Francisco 49ers stroke of luck with injuries, this is going to be a team that's going to be a contender. I can see them having, last year, where did they rank in the NFL last year as far as their rushing attack went? I had to imagine it was at the bottom of the league.
It's a hell of a question.
Right. But the running game wasn't that good last year. So can that really be an Achilles heel for them to, fall out of playoff contention? No. I don't think anybody believes that.
They were middle of the pack.
They were middle of the pack? Okay.
But you got to remember that's with Josh Allen.
Right.
Who had 8 rushing touchdowns himself. The rest of the team had 8.
Right.
So, I mean, they're never going to be a bad rushing team.
Right. It also begs the question, are the running backs really that bad? Between Zach Moss and Devin Singletary, I mean, it's not like Singletary was averaging 2 yards a carry and was god-awful.
No, but, yeah.
But when you have a quarterback who can also do the things on the ground, it's obviously going to take some attention away from them. It's going to take them out of the flow of the game. So they're not going to put up great big stats.
I think they have to find the guy that consistently get them that can consistently get them 4 yards on first down. Mm-hmm. I think there's a better chance of that being Zach Moss. I thought he was a little hurt last year. I don't know that. And you got to remember there was no training camp. Mm-hmm. Running back in the NFL, especially for guys that come out of those gimmicky ass offenses out west, you come into the league and you're not a good run blocker and you just kind of get squished down the depth chart. I can see a path where we see a different version of Zach Moss this year than we saw last year.
Yeah, my question is not whether the Bills are going to be at the top of the AFC. The question for me is how long are they going to be at the top of the AFC?
Because how with Josh Allen, you're around here,
right? Like how?
That's quite a while.
This team is built for future success. They have done a great job of putting young pieces on this team together that can thrive and flourish. Mm-hmm. and I don't see a path. And if they just hit on one of the edge rushers, this could go from a really good defense to a scary damn defense. Mm-hmm. If Carlos Basham or AJ Epinesa, who they drafted last year, turns into the first-round picks that they want them to be.
They have a lot of guys defensively.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
kind of what I was saying. I don't know if you have the one guy that's going to command the double team. I loved Carlos Basham coming out. Mm-hmm. Here's the thing: to play the way I think the Bills would be the best, they're gonna have to find that premier pass rusher. They got a lot of choices. They got a lot of draft capital wrapped up in edge guys, mm-hmm. and you have to find that guy that can 4 yards in a cloud of dust. I think that's Zach Moss. I also think Zach Ertz winds up on this team. I'm going to die on my shield on that. Yeah. I've been saying that for months. Buffalo, if you could get that done so I could, be right about it, it would be tremendous.
I've seen some opining, by the way, of cap savings. And Jerry Hughes and Cole Beasley, there's been talk about both of them being candidates to be cut.
Neither one's going anywhere.
I wouldn't think so.
Jerry Hughes still a starter on this team. Mm-hmm. No doubt.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, Mario Addison is too.
You don't like Mario?
I've never bought into him. I just never have.
Okay.
I would rather see guys like Boogie Basham getting the reps over a guy like Mario Addison. Mm-hmm. Also, don't be shocked if Basham plays on the inside. I said that before he was drafted. I've heard it out of Buffalo. Mm-hmm. They have this idea that at some net they're going to be able to play Russo, Hughes, Ed Oliver, and Basham on the line at the same time, with Epinesa as an interior rotational guy.
Yeah.
Think of the Giants back in the Justin Tuck, Michael Strahan days.
Yeah.
And I love this Buffalo team, which is hard for me to say because they're in my division, but I do.
Worst case scenario, how many wins?
Looking at the schedule,
mm-hmm.
Worst case scenario, 11.
Okay.
I think they're 11-6. Worst case scenario.
I think I convinced myself on 10, but that's fine.
Phew. Who's the 7th one?
This is always that weird game that somebody drops to a team they're not supposed to. I always factor that into my best worst case scenarios. Of these are the teams that you definitely believe they could lose. They could lose to if they're having their absolute worst year, and then you throw in one extra, like get tripped up at Atlanta or something on a week that nobody gives a fuck about.
Yeah, I don't see it with this team. Yeah. I think the floor on them is so high just because of who Josh Allen is. Mm-hmm. I would say low side they're 11-6, high side they're probably 14-3, 13-4.
Yep.
This is a team I feel like I know pretty damn well. High side they're the number one seed in the AFC. Low side they're the 3. And it's hard for me to even get there because I don't see how a team's going to get out of the North with a better record than the Bills. Mm-hmm. And the Titans and Colts are just going to cannibalize each other. So I don't think they can end up with a better record than the Bills.
Right now, according to Vegas Insider, Josh Allen is plus 1,000 to win the MVP. 10-1 odds tied with Aaron Rodgers.
Wow, winning.
The favorite on the season, of course, Patrick Mahomes, who is 4-1 odds, plus 400. So you might want to drop a little something on that one.
Gray Ford in the comments said there's 2 young quarterbacks in this division that are going to be looking for jobs in 3 years. I agree with you on one and not the other. I'll tell you which one momentarily.
Best worst case scenarios. Continuing for the AFC East here. We are live in the Wicked Weed studio. And, support for the Sportsocracy is brought to you by Manscaped.com. Go today and save at Manscaped.com by using our promo code Sportsocracy. Save 20% on your entire purchase and get free worldwide shipping. Manscaped is the best. They are the world champions. They are the greatest of all time at men's below-the-waist grooming. The Lawnmower 4.0, of course, featuring the advanced skin-safe technology. which just, it eases you into the whole process, the nerve-wracking process that is undercarriage grooming. You'll never feel better about your undercarriage than with Manscaped.
Next week, we've also got a Manscaped Best Ball League that we'll be recording right here in the Wicked Weed Studios, because who makes more sense to sponsor a Best Ball League than the best way to take care of your balls? Manscaped.com. Your balls will thank you.
That's right. The precision engineered tools for your family jewels. Go to Manscaped.com today. Use the promo code Sportsocracy. Save 20% on your full purchase and get free worldwide shipping. Best worst case scenario for the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins last year just on the taint of the playoffs.
The taint.
Yeah, they were just about there, but they're stuck in that realm of not being in the playoffs and not being bad enough to really improve your team. However, they really did. They had the picks from previous years that they were able to turn around and get that high draft pick. So this year, it all hinges on the quarterback, the development of their number one pick from last year, Tua Tagovailoa.
Best case scenario for the Dolphins, Tua Tagovailoa.
That's right. Buy now, because he starts balling like he did at Alabama, you're going to wish you had shares of Tua Tagovailoa. To me, it's a risk that I am willing to take. I think he's got the weapons. I think year two is going to be better. He's got the ability to make better decisions. He was actually one of the most accurate quarterbacks in the NFL last year.
I'm going to need you to explain that metric.
There were a lot of drops, and there were some bad decisions that he made. He threw, let's see here. It was 10 interceptable passes last year. He threw
10 interceptable passes in one game, by the way. By the way, you said he was one of the most accurate quarterbacks in the league.
Yes.
How many qualifying quarterbacks had a lower completion percentage last year than Tua Tagovailoa?
Don't know.
It's 6. And one of them was Dwayne Haskins. Mm-hmm. Sam Darnold, Carson Wentz, Drew Lock, Daniel Jones, and Baker fucking Mayfield. Mm-hmm. I'm just going to tell you, I saw enough from Tua last year that I'm scared. If I were the Dolphins, and look, I understand he's got the legal thing. I would have made the run at Deshaun Watson. Mm-hmm. I think this team could win a Super Bowl with Deshaun Watson. I think they're going to struggle to make the playoffs with Tua Tagovailoa. Here's the problem. I am starting to see in Tua the exact same thing that I saw in Matt Leinart. You have always just had unbelievable weapons around you, and you never developed that next gear. You never learned how to be the best player on your team. It was always just get the ball to a playmaker and let him go. That's where I'm at with Tua. Do you realize that he had 4 first-round draft picks at Alabama? Mm-hmm. 4 at wide receiver. Mm-hmm. I'm just getting to the point where I don't know that it's ever going to work. And look, if it does, more power to you. I had reservations about him in the draft. I said I thought he was very safe to be what he was going to be, because I think he is exactly what you saw last year. 2-to-1 touchdown to interception guy, 63, 64, 65% completion percentage. Captain check down that never pushes the ball downfield. That's what I think you have in this guy. Now you have weapons. The bad thing for me is Miami's now built for a Matthew Stafford type quarterback. Guy with the big arm that can press things downfield, because you do have Jalen Waddle, who's just an elite deep threat, and Will Fuller, who's a hell of a deep threat. Mm-hmm. I don't think you have a quarterback that can make that work.
I fully disagree with you.
I
think he can make that work. I think part of it last year was they didn't want to put him in a position to make too many mistakes, so they limited his shots down the field. When he did take shots down the field last year, he made some highlight plays. Now, his completion percentage wasn't that great when he threw it down the field. And yes, I get that he kept everything short, and so that probably plays into, his accuracy. He didn't work well under pressure. To me, that's not an accuracy thing. That's a decision-making thing. I mean, I don't know. To me, I think it was just too much to expect him to come in and be that guy in year one.
Well, they put him in a shitty situation. I've said that numerous times.
Coming off of the injury that he had at Alabama, there was no offseason. He had Devontae Parker. Woo-hoo! But other than that, I mean, yay, Mike Gesicki. That's the number 2 guy on the team that you trust. Mm-hmm. He's got no running game. I just feel like they went out and realized we need to get him weapons. So they went out and got him weapons. They got him Will Fuller. Now, granted, Will Fuller's not going to be there for the start of the year because he's suspended. But they got Jalen Waddle, Devontae Parker's still there. I feel like with those types of weapons, they can take more shots with Tua. And he can get more confidence in his game.
Chuck G said they need to trade for Jalen Hurts so Tua will be inspired. It's not a bad point. Here's the thing. I just look at Tua and go, can you be – all right, what's the ceiling for Tua? I'm curious to see where your brain's at on this. You're not going to convince me one way or the other because I'm pretty dead set on where I'm at.
What do you mean, numbers-wise? What's the ceiling?
In terms of quarterbacks in the NFL, how good can he be? Best case scenario after what you saw in 10 games last year.
I'd say somewhere in that 15 range. He could be mediocre. He could be middle of the league.
20 to 22. That's the best I can put.
Best?
That's the best I can do.
Okay.
Because you're going to have to explain to me how he's going to be better than the guys he passes. How's he going to be better than Derek Carr? He's not. He's not. He doesn't have the raw tools to be better than Derek Carr. Mm-hmm. I'm going to be honest with you. His ceiling is Kirk Cousins. You put good weapons around him, he throws up numbers, and he's never a guy that you really feel like can take you to a Super Bowl. I don't buy him at all. I saw there was too much bad last year. And people get wrapped up into interception numbers and shit like that. Peyton Manning threw more interceptions his rookie year than any rookie quarterback ever has. Why? Because they trusted him immensely from the minute he stepped in the building. Guess what? Trevor Lawrence is going to do it this year. They put kid gloves on Tua. This was a playoff team. It's still a playoff team. And they put kid gloves on Tua. I think best case scenario for the Dolphins, the defense is really good. I like this defense a lot. You got to get things figured out with Xavier Howard. But I think the defense is really good. Can Tua continue to be a guy that just doesn't turn the ball over? He's captain check down. He improves the completion percentage to the 66, 68 range and just doesn't turn the ball over. There is a possibility of that. The problem is that then you get into the playoffs and you meet, in order, Justin Herbert, Ryan Tannehill, Carson Wentz, Josh Allen, Baker Mayfield, Lamar Jackson, Pat Mahomes. You're not in the ballpark of any of the guys I just said. Baker, maybe. Maybe. And I think that's even a stretch. Jason Trump said in the comments, Tua equals Jimmy G. Jimmy G's better than Tua. Jimmy G's played one full season of his life. He wound up in the Super Bowl. Do you see a path of Tua being the... Can you see a path that Tua is the starting quarterback on a Super Bowl team?
Oh, yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
All right. Equate him to a starting quarterback in a Super Bowl in the last 10 years.
Yeah, I can't do that.
There you go.
Yeah, I can't do that.
It's because there's not one. That was a trick question. I asked you a question with no answer.
Yeah.
I just look at him and go, you can build a team around him. And as long as he's on a rookie deal, you can build a hell of a team around him. Problem is you're never going to pay him. You're never going to pay him as an elite quarterback because he's not. He's not.
I think you're jumping to conclusions a little too soon.
Okay, riddle me this. Jalen Hurts, is he a good quarterback, yes or no?
No.
Mac Jones, is he a good quarterback, yes or no?
Yeah.
Let me ask a different way. Jalen Hurts, does he have an NFL arm?
I don't know.
High-level NFL arm?
No.
Does Mac Jones have a high-level NFL arm?
No.
No. Guess what? One of them went in the second round. One of them went in the first round because of what you put around them. Name me the USC quarterback that's been great in the NFL. from the Pete Carroll days. Give you a hint. There ain't one. Carson Palmer's the best
closest,
by a mile. And that was at the very freaking beginning. I think there's a problem of Gray Ford said in the comments, Trent Dilfer and Brad Johnson. Do you realize how long ago that was? Brad Johnson's a friend of ours. He grew up like 10 minutes from where we're sitting right now. He's known him for probably as long as I've been alive. I love Brad to death. And here's another thing people forget. Brad Johnson went to Pro Bowls. Trent Dilfer had the best defense in NFL history and a record-breaking running back. That's what I think you'd have to put around Tua for him to equate to a Super Bowl. And I think those years have passed.
No.
Do I think this could be a playoff team? Absolutely.
You don't think there'll ever be another Super Bowl champion that doesn't have a premier quarterback?
Only if they're on a rookie deal. I think that's where the league is at now. You either have to have the guy or you have to have a serviceable guy who's really cheap.
Right.
Because quarterback salaries have inflated so much. Now, that being said, that's where Miami's at. So your best case scenario, that's what this whole video is about. Best case scenario, you go 11-6. I'm looking at the schedule in front of me. Do you see a path they are better than 11-6?
No,
because
probably
here's the
not.
thing: you're going to lose to Buffalo at least once.
Right.
You're going to lose at Tampa Bay. You're going to lose to Baltimore. You're probably going to lose to either the Jets or the Patriots at least once. Well, that's 4 right there. You're going to lose at Tennessee.
I put the Colts in there.
I already said the Colts.
Oh, okay.
And then you've got just a series of like Vegas, Atlanta, Carolina, New York Giants. You're probably going to drop one of those games.
Maybe.
History says average quarterbacks lose games to teams that are equitable in talent. I would say that there's a better quarterback on 2 of the 4 teams I just said.
Yeah. I think the Miami Dolphins can take a step forward this year. I think I'm still a believer. Last year did not show me what I wanted to see, and so I want to see another year. It's basically where I'm at with Tua. I believed in him so much coming out of college. I still believe that he can develop into a good quarterback. I'm not going to start throwing dirt on his career. I'm
not throwing dirt on him. He's going to play in the league for a long time.
He's never going to get re-signed.
He's never going to be the guy. You tell me, is there a path that he's a $40 million worthy of being the top 5 pick he was that you took in front of Justin Herbert?
I could see a path.
You're telling me you see a path that he ends up better than Justin Herbert?
No.
I will drug test you immediately if you say yes.
No.
There you go. That's going to be the problem. That's going to be, and I'm just telling you, this is a bigger topic to me.
Okay.
I'm getting to the point where I don't want to deal with Alabama quarterback, Clemson quarterback, Ohio State quarterback. You know why? Because they come in with outsized expectations because we watched them in college. Tua could come in and be a high-level version of, let's say he's a high-level Baker Mayfield. Got slightly better wheels. I think got a slightly more accurate arm, not as big of an arm. He could be that. And you know what people in Miami are going to say?
He's the greatest.
He's a bust, and he's the reason we're not winning Super Bowls. Because the team around him is good enough to be. Fact or fiction, the team around Tua is good enough. If Justin Herbert was quarterback of this team, this is a Super Bowl contender, yes or no?
Yes.
There you go. And the problem is you're always going to be compared to that. I don't think you're ever going to be that with Tua. Because let's face it, the team's not going to be better than they are right now. Fact or fiction, you have 2 of the 5 best corners in the NFL. You've padded the receiver room. No, you don't have a good running back, but got Gesicki. I like the offensive line. I like the defense. I think you're gonna be able to rush the passer. That's a lot of positives. And yet we still look at it and go, they're 10-7, 11-6, 12-5, best case scenario. Why? Because you don't have the guy at quarterback. But best case scenario, they can make the playoffs, and they can, I think, get just shellacked in the first round by whoever they play.
All right, a worst case scenario for the Miami Dolphins, it doesn't work.
Time to admit the mistake.
Yeah, it doesn't happen. Tua doesn't, start making better decisions. The receivers don't help out all that much, and he just looks lost, like he seemed to at times last year. It wasn't always there, but there were moments, and that's why the coaching staff kept pulling him out of games. and going to Ryan Fitzpatrick because this is the guy that gives us the best chance to lose. Now,
the biggest problem for Tua Tagovailoa is Justin Herbert. Period. That's the biggest problem for Tua Tagovailoa. Let's be real. Take off your teal and orange glasses, and before you tell me to go fuck myself in the comments, Dolphins fans, because I know it's coming.
Right.
See, we cut all these up and we release them individually, and then we put them out to fans, and there's a lot of them that tell me to go fuck myself. I want you to be real honest with what I'm getting ready to say. Justin Herbert played how many games last year?
What was it?
15.
15? 14?
Threw for 4,300 yards, 31 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. Fact or fiction, that would be the best season of Tua's career.
Fact.
We looked at it 15 years from now. That's the best year of his career. Fact or fiction?
Fact.
Justin Herbert may beat that this year. That was in 15 games with a team that was decimated by injuries and coached by quite possibly the worst head coach I've ever seen. Adam Black asked me in the comments, did I ever buy into the Tua hype? I had him as I had a second round grade on him, didn't I?
Yeah.
I had a second round grade. I'd have to go back and verify that, but I had a second round grade on Tua. That's a little misleading because I don't tend to rate quarterbacks the same way that to me, you're either the guy or you're not. Now, here's the thing. I had a second round grade on Justin Herbert too. So I can't sit here and say, oh, I'm the infallible. What I said about Tua is that I think his ceiling is much lower than the majority of top 10 quarterbacks. I think his floor is much higher, and that's why he went so high. To me, there's no possibility that he comes out and he's Dwayne Haskins. There is a safety in that. I also see no path that he's Justin Herbert. And that's kind of the give and take. Did I think he would be as bad as he was last year? Yeah, he was a rookie. Is he going to be better this year? Absolutely. Full year of camp. But I'll tell you the number one thing bothering me right now. What do I always say about training camps? The fantasy footballers have a line that I like but don't love. And the line is, believe the bad, don't believe the good. Because there's always good coming out of camp. That's bullshit. I love the believe the bad. If you start hearing bad, it's probably true. But the don't believe the good, I believe you believe the good if you hear it from everybody. If it's that obvious that every reporter is using that as their thing to report, then you can believe the good.
Right.
Always believe the bad. In 1 month, mini camps, OTAs, all that bullshit. He couldn't grasp the offense. He couldn't stop turning the ball over. He was uncomfortable last year as a starter. That's 3 different beat writers in Miami that said that. That's not me saying it. I didn't talk to the kid. I'm reading reports from people that do. That would scare me. That would scare me. I'm not grasping the offense. Plus, you got 2 offensive coordinators, which I don't think is conducive.
It's not. It's not conducive. Too many coordinators is like too many quarterbacks. If you don't know which way you're leaning and to what offensive style you want, it's going to be confusing for everybody.
I like where this is headed. So Gray Ford just in the comments said 3 worst teams in the league. 3 worst teams in the league are the Texans, the Lions, and the Eagles. Now, I'm going to be honest with you because and the reason that I said that is because it made me think of something that my ultimate comparison to Tua Tagovailoa is Jared Goff. That's exactly who he is. And the more I've thought about it since I read that, and that's exactly who he is. You can put weapons around him all day, and he'll be fine. And he got you to a Super Bowl. I just don't think he's ever going to get you over not ever going to get you over the mountaintop.
Yeah.
And that's my fear with Tua. I think he can be a good, serviceable quarterback in the NFL. And he's going to be Jared Goff. Now, worst case scenario, everything I just said goes down. Now, how do you feel about this team?
Bad.
If what I just said is true, you're going to lose to the Jets in New York. You will lose to New England once. You will lose to Buffalo twice. I think you would lose in Vegas. You'd lose to Indianapolis. You'd lose to Tampa Bay. I don't think Atlanta can come down and beat you.
No.
You lose to Baltimore.
Carolina. Giants.
Maybe you let one of those slip in Tennessee. 8-9.
Yeah.
It's the worst I can see. I've talked shit about Tua for 10 minutes here. Worst case scenario, you're 8-9.
Right.
Because the team's that damn good.
Problem is, the expectation is Tua has the sophomore spike, and we get over the hump to get into the playoffs because we were tied for the playoff spot last year.
That's the one.
Right. It's going to be the expectation is greater than what Tua can provide to you.
I think the expectations are going to be what fucks him his entire career. Because we watched him, he beat out Jalen Hurts, he did all these things. We watched him in college. He's supposed to be the guy. He was the can't-miss tank for Tua.
Yep.
And he's not. And I'll tell you another thing that's going to burn him. It's Trevor Lawrence. I think Trevor Lawrence is better than him the second he steps on the field. Mm-hmm. With a bad coach, in a bad system, with all of the it's not a good look. It's not a good look for Tua, and I think it's going to hurt him.
Right. The fact that he is going to be overshadowed by several quarterbacks drafted around his position is definitely going to hurt him. There's no doubt about it. The expectations are always going to be high in Miami, and they're not going to be satisfied with just knocking on the door of the playoffs. You got to make that leap to get them into the playoffs. I mean, can Tua Tagovailoa be the best Miami quarterback since Dan Marino? Sure, but that bar
means you're beating out Brian Greasy.
Right, that bar is not very high, guys. But that's what they're expecting. They're expecting Tua is going to come in and transform everything, and it's going to be Dan Marino, and this is going to be better than Dan Marino because we're actually going to win Super Bowls this time.
Let me ask you a question.
Yep.
Is there a team in the NFL? Who is the team that you have in the NFL who you think their expectations are excised to who they are? They have the loftiest expectations for the team that they actually are.
I would say I'm going to go with New England because New England expects to win no matter who's out there.
New England's close. I take the Miami Dolphins. Because there are people out there, a lot of them, that think they can win this division.
Yeah.
Not a snowball's chance in hell. You don't have a snowball's chance in hell of winning this division. Mm-mm. I'll be honest with you. I think you're closer to New England and the Jets than you are the Bills. Here's the thing. I think both of those teams are better than a lot of people do.
You're not.
The hate on New England has gotten stupid. Hell, you know what? Let's get into New England.
All right. Best worst case scenario for the New England Patriots as we are live here in the Wicked Weed studio. Check out our friends at wickedweedbrewing.com. Wicked Weed Brewing, drink different. I'm Tank Spencer, and he's Jeremy Greene. And the best case scenario for the New England Patriots is that reboots don't always suck.
It doesn't always suck to just lather up and do it again with different characters.
That's right. Because that's the mindset right now is that we went out and we spent all this money in free agency. We reloaded. Yes, there's a quarterback situation, but you know what? I think the fan base is coming around to Cam Newton doesn't need to be the
He's
quarterback.
Not the guy. It should tell you something when Cam Newton came out earlier this week and said, I haven't been right since that shoulder injury in 2016. No shit. We've covered you.
Yeah.
We covered you in this market for years. I've said that forever. And weird how many Cam Newton apologists didn't come and go, oh, sorry, I told you to go get hit by a car and that you didn't know shit, that you're an idiot.
But
you're a big hillbilly that looks like you belong in old brother. Where art thou?
But you can't doubt the lion that's inside Cam Newton, and he's going to have this rebirth, and he's going to reclaim his glory because now he's healthy. No, he's not. He's not healthy. He's a battered 30-plus-year-old quarterback. What can you possibly hope is left for him, especially if you're a team that you honestly believe has playoff aspirations? What was it in the, what was it, 11 touchdowns he threw last year? 10 touchdowns he threw last year that you saw that made you think, yeah, this is going to get better. This is definitely going to get better. I think he had 11 passing touchdowns and 10 rushing touchdowns. What?
I'm going to
That's
level.
grossness.
I get a lot of flack for being a Patriots hater.
Because you're a Jets fan.
Yeah. Let me be real. And you know what? For some Patriots fans, this is going to hurt your feelings. You're probably the team in the division that I give the least of a shit about because you're the least of a threat to me moving forward. Mm-hmm. That being said, the hate on them has gone too far. If you told me Mac Jones starts for this team week 1, and I look at everything they have, because the offensive line is going to be pretty good.
Yes.
You've given this rookie quarterback, who, by the way, you have 2 backups that play exactly like him. So, Not trying to overthink you, Bill, but you have 3 quarterbacks that play exactly the exact same way and one that doesn't. You draw your own conclusions from that. I think the line's going to be good. I don't think you have a left tackle. Isaiah Wynn, I have issues there, but I like Onwenu. I like bringing back David Andrews, and I like Trent Brown being back. You've given him the tight ends. I still don't love the receivers, but I think you're going to be able to run the ball with Damian Harris. By the way, one of my favorite players in fantasy football this year. He's going way too low.
Great
but
steal.
He is the running back in New England.
Yep.
And then I look at the defense. I don't love the defense. I don't. You spend a lot of money, and I think you got a lot of guys that you paid too much for. However, it's better than it was last year, fact or fiction.
Fact. No doubt.
I don't love Judon. I've said that from Jump Street. Stephen Tow's a Raven fan. In the comments, he will tell you he's an overrated player. Yannick Ngakoue is the one he was sad to watch walk out the door. But he will give you a pass rushing presence where you did not have that. You do still have Stephon Gilmore. You do still have J.C. Jackson. I look at the defense and go, I'm in like with it. I'm not in love with it. And then I look at the schedule. Have you really deep dived New England's schedule?
I have not.
I
mean, we did, but
I have.
I've slept since then, so I've forgotten
And
things.
let's be really honest. They get screwed on the late bye
Yeah.
because they had the last bye week of the year.
Yep, week 14.
I could see a path this team makes the playoffs.
Okay.
A lot of shit has to go right.
Well, let's go down. Best case scenario, they're going to beat Miami.
Yeah.
They'll beat New York.
Not in New York.
Not in New York?
Not, I'm telling you. Mac Jones, because first of all, I think Mac Jones is going to play from Jump Street. Mac does not have the best arm. He doesn't throw the best spiral. I got news for you as somebody that, I know the Jets pretty well. That stadium is a horror show for weak-armed quarterbacks, especially right around the time the fall starts. When is that? September.
Yeah.
That's the worst time they could have played the Jets, is early.
Okay. Well, they'll get them at home.
All right, look,
They'll get them at home.
I think they split that series.
Right. All right. So you got Miami, New Orleans.
Win.
Not beating Tampa Bay.
Nope.
You got Houston.
Win.
Dallas.
Could be a win. I like your defense, but I like their offense.
Right.
No, said that backwards. I like your offense, but I like their defense.
Okay. That took a second to register.
Yeah, it's because I said it fucking backwards.
Then you got at the Chargers, probably loss.
The West Coast swing, young quarterback. I don't love it.
Right. Then you got at Carolina.
Could be a win.
Cleveland, not going to win.
Probably a loss, but it is in Foxborough, and it's Bill scheming against an average quarterback.
Dome down in Atlanta.
Win.
Then at home against Tennessee. They're not winning that.
You chalked that up quicker than I did.
At Buffalo.
I can see them beating Tennessee in New England. But you're not going to Buffalo winning. Sorry. Monday Night Football in Buffalo. Yeah, you're not winning.
Then you got to go to Indianapolis.
That could be a win.
Could be. Yeah, that's a stretch. But since we're going best case scenario, we'll chalk it up. Then against Buffalo at home.
Could be a win.
Could be a win. They always play tough in the division, regardless of where these teams are. Jacksonville, that's 10. And then you got at Miami to end the season. It's 11. Could be 11 wins.
This team could make the playoffs. Now, do a lot of things have to go right? Absolutely.
Yes, that's best case scenario across the board. Mac Jones comes in. He is the guy that they want to be. He's the game manager that they are seeking to make this offense work. Yeah. Your weapons have to be really good on this.
I don't necessarily agree with you.
Really?
You
For
have
Mac
to
Jones to be good, his weapons have to be really good.
Well, you've got 2 tight ends that are quarterback's best friend.
Yeah.
I see a path that this is a very 12 personnel, old school looking offense with Ramondre Stevenson playing fullback in front of Damian Harris. They run the ball a shitload. I just see a path that this is an old school looking defensive first 3 yards in a cloud of dust team.
Yeah.
And I could see a path that that's not bad. I see a path that's playoff contender.
I could agree with that. Play solid defense and, get your, just accumulate first downs over and over and over again. That's kind of how they set up this team. You gave them 2 tight ends. You got Jacoby Myers he's the best receiver that they have on this team, I believe. I think he's better than Nelson Aguilar. But you got him, who is good in short range. Nelson Aguilar is as well. Kendrick Bourne. I think that their plan is to just cut the field 10 yards at a time. And we'll run the 3 best plays possible and just accumulate first downs and chip our way down the field. And the defense is going to be good enough. I don't see this team ever getting into a shootout. I don't see them really ever going into a 35-38 run and gun with somebody else.
I don't know.
I think it's going to be smash mouth, small scores.
Now, conversely,
worst case scenario for the New England Patriots.
money doesn't buy happiness.
No, you overpaid for a bunch of dudes.
Judon, you overpaid. Hunter Henry's fragile as shit. Johnny Smith's never had more than 600 and some odd yards in a season.
Yep.
Nelson Aguilar's had 1 decent year in his life. Other than that, he's been an injury-prone, drop-prone wide receiver. And here's something I've yet to hear anybody say. You just took him out of a dome in Vegas and put him into Foxborough. What did he struggle with so much in Philadelphia? The wind. That's why his hands were so bad, because the ball moves, and he couldn't deal with it. Do you not find it strange that the first year of his career that he ever played 10 games in a dome, 8 at home, 2 on the road, that was the best year he ever had? Is that not weird to you? And it's not me being a hater, it's just me being honest. Kendrick Bourne, he's a bit player. You have a bunch of bit player wide receivers. Here's where this could go shitstorm for New England. You start Cam Newton. Because I got news for you. You start Cam Newton, let's go back to that old schedule. You start Cam Newton, you lose to Miami, you probably lose in New York. Rob Salah scheming against Cam Newton. A guy that scares you in no way, beating him over the top. And you've got all of these toys to play with that you signed in free agency. You're probably going to lose that game. With Cam Newton. I can see a path you lose to New Orleans. You're going to lose to Tampa Bay. You could be 0-4. I don't see any way Cam Newton plays more than 4 games, because then I see a path of at Houston, home to Dallas, home to the Jets, before a Chargers, Panthers, Browns, Falcons, Titans, Buffalo stretch. That's where you put in Mac Jones.
Yeah.
I don't see a path that Cam Newton plays more than 4 games. So to me, that's the worst case scenario. You start 0-4 with Cam Newton, and then you have to acclimate Mac Jones on the fly, get the reps in, all of the things. Here's where this could go sideways. You play a Miami team that could have a good offense. They have weapons. New Orleans could have a good offense. They don't have weapons, but they got a big arm quarterback and one of the best running backs in the league. Tampa, Dallas, the Chargers. I like the Carolina offense this year. Cleveland Browns offense, Atlanta Falcons offense, Tennessee Titans offense, Buffalo Butt. That's a lot of good offenses. If your defense is not good, you're bringing a knife to a gunfight. Either way, because you're going to try to grind out games against teams that can outscore you. That's how this could go badly. Judon's not the edge presence you thought he would be. Gilmore regresses another year with age. Or he's not on the team. He may just say the hell with it and go, I don't want to be here. I've heard he doesn't want to be here, period.
That's the one thing you got to factor into this is what's going to happen with Stephon Gilmore.
No Stephon Gilmore, you're in
pissed
trouble.
off. He is pissed off that he's not one of the highest paid corners in the league, and he wants a new deal today.
He is.
Huh?
He is. He's like 8. He wants to be in the top 3.
No, I thought he was not in the top 10. He was like 11.
He may have been
or something.
He may have been phased out that far.
I think we talked about this the other day.
We did, but I thought he was 8.
He ended up no, he wasn't even in the top 10. Somebody put out a list. I think it was the NFL Network put out a list of the top 10 highest paid corners in the league, and Stephon Gilmore was like $100,000 behind whoever
13.
was in 10th.
He's 13.
He was close. But he believes that he needs to be one of the highest paid in the league. So he wants a new deal. You know, I thought they would have found a trade partner for him in the offseason.
But they don't want to move him because Bill knows, I need that guy.
Well, yeah.
J.C. Jackson can't be the one. I like J.C. Jackson. I think he can be a lovely, a Robin to the Batman of Stephon Gilmore. I don't think he's a 1. And I think if you cast him that way, you're going to be in trouble.
Right. But that wasn't, we need to get rid of this guy. It's the only thing of protecting the investment. Get something out of him before he walks or before he holds out or whatever. If he's that disgruntled, maybe we got to get him out of town. I feel like that was a move that they could have made where they could have got something in return.
You have a tremendous secondary with Gilmore, Jonathan Jones, J.C. Jackson, McCourty, and Kyle Duggar. That's a tremendous secondary. Move everybody up one spot. Not as tremendous as it was. That's the reason they haven't made a move on Gilmore. Right. They know he's disgruntled. I've heard it from too many people. And so somebody's telling somebody something. Hell, I read it the other day on Twitter from a guy that sat next to him on an airplane. It's not like he's being real coy about this.
Right.
But the reason you haven't made a move is that you're going best case scenario. Best case for Bill to make another run is Stephon's right. He's the one. Mac Jones can come in, be the game manager, be Brady light. Just short, accurate passing game, 70% completions, never turn the ball over, run the ball down your throat, play really good defense. Conversely, if you can't outscore teams and you don't have that secondary, and you don't have that pass rush, now you're bringing a knife to a gunfight. And you're trying to do this old school grind it out shit against teams that can just outscore you. Because the schedule did not do you any favors.
Yeah.
You know, if you wondered where the schedule luck went, it's in Tampa Bay with him. So... it's Brady, not Belichick, that gets just scheduled gifts every year.
That's right.
So, worst case scenario, I would say New England's 6-11.
I would agree.
Best case scenario, I'd say they're 11-6. They have one of the widest ranges for me. But I would say it's more likely they end up about 9-8 as probably the 8th or 9th team in the AFC. I put them in Pittsburgh real close to each other.
I could see them right on the outside of the playoffs, just being in that position. And then we may get to a point where there's 4 weeks left in the season and they got to win out, and they'll be in a playoff position.
Yeah,
could possibly be there.
Yeah, that's not happen.
No, I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm saying they could be that close to being in contention for the playoffs.
I think it's more likely they're 8-9 or 9-8.
The 1 year that we have seen so far without Tom Brady and Bill Belichick being together has most definitely swung Tom Brady's way. And are we underselling Bill Belichick? Maybe, but I doubt it. I'm starting to feel like his run as one of the greatest coaches, I mean, he will always be one of the greatest coaches in NFL history. Nobody can take that away from him. But what I'm saying is, being an effective coach on the field for the way the game is played today, this is his last shot to do so. You look at this defense, you just look at the names on the defense and what you know about these guys. This looks like a Bill Belichick defense. You got a lot of hard-nosed, blue-collar kind of guys that there is, you got the one star. And then you just got guys who do shit. They do all the little things. I could very well see this team having some success this year, but it's only if they make a major change at the top. And by the top, I mean quarterback. Your path is Mac Jones. Stick to that path. Don't try to reinvent the wheel and reinvigorate a guy who hasn't been the same since his MVP run 6 years ago.
Yep.
Just not going to happen. We are in the Wicked Weed studio, wickedweedbrewing.com. Drink different. I'm Tank Spencer, and he's Jeremy Greene, and we are continuing our coverage here of the best and worst case scenarios for every team in the AFC East. It's the one moment that we all knew was coming, and I'm glad that we have, another 30 minutes before we have to say goodbye. Jets. It's the New York Jets. They made the change. Adam Gase is out of town. You now got Rob Saleh calling the shots up there.
Just say it again.
Adam Gase is out of town, and Rob Saleh is now all gas, no brakes.
Hey, ironic you said that. Best case scenario for my New York Jets: all gas, catch some brakes.
Yep. Zach Wilson coming in to be the starting quarterback of this team. There's always a risk when you're starting a rookie. However, they have put weapons around him that I believe he is set up for greater success than Sam Darnold ever was.
100%. With Morgan Moses on the right side, Mekhi Becton on the left side, the line's going to be markedly better. Yep. By the way, just watch me be right about what I'm getting ready to say. George Fant's going to play more tight end than people think.
Okay.
Did that in Seattle. Why? Because the line wasn't particularly good. Because George Fant was a tight end in college. What does that tell you? It means they're going to be able to run the ball pretty damn well. Because you can do that, and it doesn't tip the hand that this is actually a run. Because you have a lot of dudes.
Yeah, they do have a lot of dudes, and that's going to be the question. If this running back by committee can take them to the promised land.
Here's the thing. People are over-evaluating Michael Carter as a rookie. I loved him coming out. I still love him. It's not a slight at him. It's gotten dumb. Because this is going to be a committee. It's going to be a lot of Tevin Coleman, Ty Johnson, Michael Carter, LaMichael Pirod. I'm not in love with anything running back-wise on this team. Very similarly to what I have said about San Francisco over the years.
Right.
I think Michael Carter is the Raheem Mostert. But you got a lot of other dudes.
Too many cooks in the kitchen, basically.
Yes.
To have one star when it comes to fantasy football, at least. I believe in Corey Davis. The Elijah Moore hype coming out of camp is ridiculous. And I'm not saying that as I don't believe it. I'm saying I don't know that there's been a wide receiver that we've heard so much hype about.
Good. Let the hate flow through you.
Denzel Mims has, he showed flashes last year. And Jamison Crowder is a steady wide receiver. He catches a lot of flack, and people just say, "Oh, Jamison Crowder. He's a dude." I think he's more than a dude. I think he's been more than a dude, and he's just one of those guys that gets overlooked because he's not a league leader in flashy plays or anything like that. I've always believed in Jamison Crowder, and I think that this group of wide receivers has a chance to do something special for Zach Wilson and to set him up for success in his rookie year. Could you see a path where Zach Wilson is the rookie of the year in the NFL? No?
Is there a path? Yes, it's a 2% chance. I think Zach Wilson's going to be fine. I don't think he's going to be asked to do what like a Trevor Lawrence will be asked to do. What a Justin Fields will be asked to do if he hits the field in Chicago. Hell, even to a point what a Mac Jones will be asked to do. And it's not that he's not ready. Somebody in the comments said earlier that the little Mormon boy is going to get eaten up in New York. No, he's not. Here's the thing. And this is going to sound strange, but I want you to really think about what I'm going to say. He's had a target on his back pretty much his entire life because his family is loaded. He's also got a smoking hot mom. You laugh. I want you to think about what I'm going to say.
Okay.
Think about growing up with a mom that looks like that and talks like that. You better be a little thick-skinned or you're going to be in fights constantly. He's used to it. Think about all the things his mom said just since he got drafted. He hadn't responded to any of it. He did apparently offer to pay her to deactivate her Instagram account, which that makes me a little. I don't like that at all. It gives me hives and like, Mom,
because you need it.
Stay off Instagram. His mother scares me more than anything about him.
Why? What is she?
Because she never stops talking.
Well, I mean, that's fine, but what is she saying? Is she saying?
Oh, she's a big Trump supporter. You're in New York. You put 2 and 2 together. There could be some.
It's a political thing.
Not really. It's a. She becomes the narrative a lot.
Right.
And that's my biggest reservation. The talent, I love the talent on Zach Wilson. He can vouch for this. This is not he wound up with the Jets. He was clearly my 2 from long ago. Arm talent's fantastic. He's a better runner than you think he is. Stat came out yesterday. Most red zone touchdowns, rushing touchdowns by quarterbacks last year. Malik Willis was 1. Who was 3? I've already forgotten.
Desmond Ridder.
Desmond Ridder from Cincinnati. Zach Wilson was 2. He had 10. 10 red zone rushing touchdowns last year. I really like this kid. I really like this defense. Michael Whiteside said, I want to see Zach Wilson's mom riding a bald eagle in her birthday suit waving a Trump flag.
That's not on her Instagram. That's only on her OnlyFans account.
I ain't again it. I like and
if Zach Wilson's mom had an OnlyFans, how fast would you be a subscriber? It's definitely a subscription that you would be signing up for. Good Lord. I like the defense. I think your defense.
The secondary scares me. That's the thing that makes me the most nervous.
Just because they're unproven? Is it because they're young, or is it an actual
they're
talent
scheme fits.
thing?
They're scheme fits. Look, I really like Bryce Hall. I really like Bless Austin. Mm-hmm. I like Javelin Guidry as an undrafted free agent. By the way, Joe Douglas, I love you. We look like we could be brothers. I have better hair than you. I'll give you some of it. I'll give you a wig if that's what you want. I have to express my undying love for Joe Douglas anytime we do these things. The secondary does make me a little nervous because the Salah defense, it's really important you have a lot of players. Mm-hmm. I'm just not sure how deep they go. I don't know what to believe with the rookies. There's a lot of rookies. In Joe, I trust. I trust in Joe. I trust in Rob Salah. I think it's going to be fine.
What about the C.J. Mosley thing? There's been a lot of talk about it, whether he's going to actually be on this team.
It's hard to get a read on. And I talk to a lot of Jets people. I talk to a lot of beat writers. I get a lot of different stories. Salah out loud is basically saying he wants C.J. Mosley to be the center part of the defense.
Okay.
However, he's never played in a 4-3, at least not in his pro career. And he hadn't played in 2 years. He played one game in 2 years. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of hiccups. I hope he's on the team. The Jets have the money to make it happen. I would like to see him out there. This defense was not bad with C.J. Mosley. Granted, it was half of 2 different games that we got to see, but the defense was not bad. Mm-hmm. And I believe in Rob Salah a hell of a lot more than I believe in Greg Williams. So I think the defense will be fine. I'm hoping the addition of Carl Lawson gives a little pass rush. This is a team that's needed a pass rusher for years. But you can see the San Francisco-ification of the Jets. Mm-hmm. You got all of these pieces now. At edge, just think about how many different guys they've added this year. You go all the way. So you add Vinny Curry. And it's outside of Carl Lawson. Carl Lawson's a starter. You add Vinny Curry. You had Bryce Huff, who was an undrafted free agent last year. Hamilcar Rashid, that was a guy that I, honest to God, thought was – we talked about him multiple times. Mm-hmm. You got him as an undrafted free agent. You're just seeing what they're doing. We're going to have a lot of pieces. We're going to throw a lot of guys at you. It's going to be a lot of different guys, a lot of different dudes. We're going to play good defense. I would say best case.
And versatile defense as well.
That's the thing. It's going to be very versatile.
Are they still talking about putting Hamza Nasruddin and some of those guys playing linebacker?
Yeah, Hamza Nasruddin and Jamian Sherwood are both going to play linebacker.
Yeah.
Which is, that's interesting. You got two. One's a very large safety, one's a slightly undersized safety, and you're going to play him at linebacker. That's new. I haven't seen much of that.
Speed kills.
Hamza Nasruddin is allegedly going to be the starter.
Yeah, speed kills in the NFL, and your defenses have to keep up. Rob Salah is an innovator on the defensive side of the football, and he understands what it's going to take to try to keep up in this league.
Yep.
Now, whether he's got the dudes for it, he's going to find out.
Yeah, I mean,
but I don't doubt the mental game here.
No, this is not going to be an immediate turnaround.
No.
But I believe much more in Rob Salah. I always said the players were better than people thought. Mm-hmm. And I believe in Salah. I believe in Joe Douglas. Mm-hmm. And here's the thing. Next year, I think you have the third most cap space in the league. You have 2 1s. You have 2 2s. You have 2, I want to say it's 2 4s. And like 3 5s. Or it's something absurd. They have more draft capital than any team in the league going in next year. So, I mean, it's not going to be an immediate turnaround, but I'm telling you, I see the positive turn here. The adults are in the room, and they're running the ship.
Best case scenario for the New York Jets in 2021 is 7 wins?
I'd say, I think it's more than that.
You think it's more?
They could beat Carolina. They could beat New England, I think, at least once. They could beat Denver. They could beat Atlanta. They could beat Cincinnati. They will beat Houston. They will beat Philadelphia. They could beat New Orleans. They will beat Jacksonville. It's 9. They could be 9-8. That's best case scenario.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I don't know about that whole Carolina thing. Opening up against Carolina on the road to open up the season is
look. I have to say this because we're in a Carolina market.
Yeah.
You Panther fans need to calm the fuck down. I liked the Darnold thing. I like a lot of things you're doing. Stop acting like you're better than you are. Panthers fans make it seem like
they're better than the Jets.
It's a hell of a lot closer than you think it is. If you don't believe me, look at every power ranking in the world that has you 24 or lower.
Yeah.
I mean, do I think that's a little disingenuous? Yes, but you're way closer to the Jets than you think you are. Stop acting like this is going to be some 38-3. You do understand I've watched every pass that motherfucker's thrown in his life. I've seen every pass he's thrown in his NFL career. I'm telling you this out of love. I kept saying, Carolina fans, don't jump out of line. I kept saying that for a reason. You know, you got the quarterback. I think he's going to develop. You've got pieces. You got Brady. You got Rule. Young guys on defense. Stop acting like you're an 11-win team. You're not. You are not. You are not.
No, you're not.
Stop acting like you are. It is not out of the realm of possibility that you lose to the Jets. It's not. We will be at this game. If I thought we were going to get shellacked, do you think I would show up?
Yes.
No.
I do.
No, I wouldn't. Why do you think I'm not flying to London? Because, yeah, I see a path that Kyle Pitts eats our fucking lunchbox. Plus, I don't want to get a passport. It seems like
You
a
would
lot of
really
work.
do. You would fly to London to see
I
your team
considered
play?
going to the first one.
Really?
When we played in Miami a few years ago, I considered going to that. I just decided I wanted to too late and couldn't get a passport.
I mean, that would be a hell of a bucket list thing. I can't fault you for that. But no, I don't. I think you're 0-1 starting out the season. I really do.
And that's fine. That's fine. You know what? The closer we get to this, and the more I start to feel like the big dick in the locker room because this is the best coach we've had in my lifetime. Yep. This is the best GM we've had in my lifetime.
Okay.
The disrespect, I can just tell you this from a series of guys that report on this team, it ain't lost on them. Just remember I said that. And I could see a fun path of me having some fun with Panthers fans to, do something good in the community. I see a path to this.
There are a whole lot of prognosticators and talking heads like us that do not believe that the New York Jets are going to be much better than they were last year.
And those people are wrong.
I think that is totally misguided. I get that you got a rookie quarterback and you can't,
you're going to have growing pains with a rookie quarterback.
Basket. Sure.
He's also not going to be asked to do a lot. There's a reason you have 4 running backs. There's a reason you have more weapons than the Jets have had in the 30 years I've pulled for them. There's a reason for that. They watched what they just did to Sam Darnold. It's not lost on Joe Douglas. The motherfucker has said it to me. Not directly to me, but I was on a conference call and it was said, I know what I did. I didn't give him the weapons I needed. I'm not going to fuck up and do that again. But
with the weapons they've gone out and gotten wide receivers, I think they're going to throw the ball a lot.
Define a lot.
55% of the time.
Okay, let me ask this in a different way because I'm not doing math live on.
They will throw more than they run the ball.
Everybody
by a considerable
except
margin.
the Baltimore Ravens. How many attempts you see from the Jets next year? Because we're going to disagree on this. I can go ahead and tell you.
How many passing attempts? I will say, 350, 400.
350. Good Jesus Christ. Are they going to throw it 14 times a game?
I'm not good at these math games. Why do you ask me these fucking questions? I give you percentages to keep away from giving you actual numbers.
Yeah.
Because my mind doesn't work that fast.
Average NFL team throws it about 500 times.
Okay.
I think they're going to be below that. They will be, I would say, bottom half of the league in passing attempts.
Maybe.
They're going to run the ball a lot. Defensive coaches. We've seen this time and time again.
Right.
I would say best case scenario, the Jets are 9-8.
Okay.
Everything, all gas, catch some breaks. 9-8.
Okay. I'm going to say 7-10.
Which is funny because he had them as 10-7 when we picked it against the schedule.
Did I?
Yeah, you did.
I was wrong.
I looked before we did this. Look at the schedule. I'm telling you, look at the schedule.
Yes.
It's one of the easiest schedules in the NFL. I'm just telling you, It's my favorite futures bet of the year. The Jets are at 6 wins in Vegas. It's the easiest cinch bet in the history of time. Believe me, you call me a homer all you want to. I don't care.
Okay, I mean, I'm not casting aspersions. If you believe your team is that good, and yeah, you're right. I did have them 10-7.
I know you did. I looked before we did this.
Jesus. I don't know. Okay. Well, maybe 9 is closer.
There you go.
Maybe 9 is closer to the best case scenario.
Yeah. Worst case scenario, Zach's mom barks. Jets don't bite.
Yeah.
That's the fear. My fear is that they're going to you get behind, you ask Zach Wilson to do too much because you're trying to come back. The secondary's young and unproven. And is there a path they go 5-12?
Yeah.
I don't really buy that.
I think there could be.
Okay.
I mean, the running game doesn't work. Zach Wilson really struggles. New York is a circus to begin with, and
it's not as much of a circus as you think it is. It's always been kind of a myth. New York sports fans have always laughed at this. The media is intense. You have to be kind of a powder puff for it to wilt you. There's just so much of it. There's so many reporters. I mean, good God, Zoom calls with the Jets have 37 reporters on them. Like, there's a lot of media. You end up on the back page, you get talked about all that shit. At the end of the day, you win, you're still beloved. It's not like they're coming to your house and egging it. I've always thought the New York media circus is a little overblown at this point. It wasn't always, but I think in the last 5 years that's become a little overrated.
Yeah.
The Giants and the Jets have both sucked for 5 years, so
yeah.
now if they crank up and get better, then yeah, that might you might have the same pressure.
But they're also relentless. The media pressure is relentless. That's the thing.
No, it's just more than what you're used to because we're in the South. Right. We're in the Charlotte media market that is. I mean, I'm not saying something out of turn here. There's no teeth to it. Panthers fans hate David Newton because he speaks the truth from time to time. Because he ain't from here and they don't like it. Fact or fiction? Is anything I just said incorrect?
I don't know. I mean, he says some pretty dumb stuff.
He said. I'm not saying he doesn't. I'm saying he does say some dumb shit.
Yeah.
He's also right. I would say more often than he's wrong.
Yeah.
And Panther fans don't like it. They don't like that side of the market. Atlanta's the exact same way. That's not me. I'm not being a dick. I'm just saying there's less media. When you have, it's a hell of a lot easier for you to be a dick when there's 37 media members than it is when there's 5.
Right, but that's kind of the point to New York media of that everybody is writing something different because they gotta sell, they gotta get their clicks, so the pressure becomes more because you've got so many other entities basically talking shit about you because. It's clickbaity, and in a media age that is driven so much on being different and trending and all of that, you're going to have a lot of pressure on that end. Now,
here's the thing.
Can he live up to it?
I'm just going to level with you. I've pulled for New York sports team for 30 fucking years. The media pressure, yes, it's been there. It is not what it used to be.
Okay.
Period. If it was, Sam Darnold would have been run out of town 2 years ago. Because as soon as the mono thing came up, he would have been crucified. It was reported like 3 times. It just wasn't that big of a deal.
Right.
At this point, there's kind of an expectation from New York sports fans. Our teams are bad. So yeah, some of the teeth has gone away. I mean, just be real honest with you. How much crucifying did Sam Darnold get?
I think quite a bit.
For what?
Well, I mean,
name the first thing you think of with Sam Darnold.
The ghost thing.
There you go. Name the second thing. I'll wait.
Yeah, he's awful.
He's not awful.
I know, but that's the way they portray him in the media is that
Not really.
He can't get it done.
Not really. National media does that more than New York does. I'm just saying the New York media thing's overrated. I pulled for these things for 30 fucking years. You can believe me or not. It's nowhere near what it used to be, and anybody that argues with me is just fucking wrong. This is where every team I pull for is, save my NBA team. Guess what? I spent 15 years pulling for the NBA team in New York. I hate their owner with an undying passion.
Right.
I've watched this. the teeth is going away. First of all, the newspaper industry, nowhere near what it used to be.
No, there's no doubt.
New York Post, that used to be what you were trying to, that's what you were trying to stay out of. Nobody fucking reads it anymore. It doesn't matter. It's all beat writers. It's all Rich Cimini. It's all Robbie Sabo and Manish Mehta. He's gone now, but there are others. That's what it is. You know, and on Twitter, it's a hell of a lot more difficult to be a dick than it used to be. You can say truthful things in print that you say it on Twitter and it turns into a back and forth of bullshit.
Right.
It's just not the same. I don't have a great way of telling you this. When we put this video out, because I'm putting it out in New York, trust me, you're going to see a lot of comments like, he's right.
Yeah.
The media is not what it used to be.
Okay.
And by the way, thank you, Nix, for that. Because you've been such a dog baby for so long that I think it kind of killed the media, in all honesty.
It very well could have, but I still feel like there is a lot of pressure playing in that number one market, and a rookie quarterback is, going to be more susceptible than anyone, I think, to folding to the pressure.
All right, so just put your money where your mouth is.
Okay.
Look at the schedule.
Okay.
What's the worst they could possibly be?
Worst case scenario, you beat Atlanta,
There's one.
Cincinnati,
There's two.
Houston,
There's three.
Jacksonville,
There's four. You missed one.
Philadelphia.
There's five.
There's five. And that very well could be your worst case scenario.
5-12.
Yeah.
You went 2-14 last year. Now, your worst case scenario is 5-12. And that assumes that you only beat the teams that you should 100% beat, and you beat no one else. I don't buy that. I don't. There's 5 no doubt wins. Your win to loss total is 6 in Vegas. You're telling me you're not going to get a game? Bullshit.
Right.
I think worst case scenario is about 7-10. I think their range of outcomes is 7-10, 8-9, 9-8. I don't think they can be any better. I don't think they can be any worse.
I could very well see them being on that 5-win side of things, but still, that's not going to be enough, in my opinion, to make you one of the 4 worst teams in the NFL. Because I think they're, like you said, there are no doubt 5 teams on this list that they should beat with no problem. And that's even worst case scenario, in my opinion. Now, obviously, Cincinnati fans will rankle.
Oh, we're going to beat you, no doubt. And so will Jacksonville Jaguars fans. And Philadelphia fans.
Everybody's crazy about their team.
Everybody's going 17.
I think we have had a growing moment here. We did best case scenario for the New York Jets, and Jeremy didn't go fucking crazy and say they're going to make the playoffs.
I never go crazy.
I think we've...
I never go crazy, ever. I'm as rational about I've watched the team for 30 years.
Right.
They've shit in my lap 22 of those times. I think I'm pretty rational. What'd you think I thought? What'd you think I thought that I was going to say? They're going to go 13-4. Oh, that's stupid.
What's the next letdown for the New York Jets on the way? That's the question now. Because they let you down last year by winning, and now this year.
And I'll be honest with you, I'm fine with it.
Do you not get into that position though? I mean, because I always am about my team. What's the next spot they're going to let me down?
No, and maybe this is delusional, and you can call me a homer. I don't give a shit. I never bought Adam Gase. I never really bought Herman Edwards. Rex Ryan was a headache. I liked him. I still like him. But he brought a lot of unnecessary pressure on himself. Let's be really honest. Rob Salah is pretty boring. He's a pretty boring dude. Just knows his football. Guys like him. There's a lot of positivity around the organization. It's hard for me to not feel good about where we're headed.
He's a boring media character, is that what you're saying?
No.
Because I don't think he's a boring coach.
No, he's not at all.
Okay, I was going to say, he's pretty fiery.
There's no drama around him. He didn't show up to the press conference with his eyes going all over the fucking place like a googly-eyed frog.
Right.
He doesn't have a foot fetish, and he doesn't scream, you play to win the game.
We don't know that.
If he does, we don't know about it. Let me put it that way.
Everybody's got a little
none of those
weirdness.
things. He didn't do any of that shit. So it's for me it's growth. I like where the team's headed, and it's hard to not be pretty positive going into 2021 and beyond.
As I feel like you should be pretty positive about what's going on with the New York Jets. Just don't think it's not going to be the miracle turnaround that I think some are really yearning for.
Well, there's maybe yearning for it, nobody buys it. I mean, they're 20.
That's what I'm saying.
They're 27th or worse in every power ranking I've seen. I think some of that's kind of stupid. If you have Jacksonville ahead of them, you're an idiot. That's as nice about that as I can be.
Right.
Urban Meyer's running his rookie running back as a slot guy and playing the chaplain from Florida at tight end. Okay, then. You keep telling me how they're... Whatever.
No doubt in the AFC East, though, the Kings at the top are the Buffalo Bills. They will be a Super Bowl contender this year. Miami, I will say I feel pretty confident about this team turning out 2 playoff teams.
There's definitely a chance. I can't say I'm confident of it. I think there's an entire possibility that you get 2 from the West, 2 from the South, and 2 from the North. And this is the one that only has 1.
Yeah. But the Buffalo Bills at the top, Miami Dolphins, and then the Jets and the Patriots there toward the bottom. And I actually think your Jets probably finish in last place.
May very well be right. I'm going to repeat this again. The Dolphins are closer to the Patriots and the Jets than they are to the Bills.
Agreed. I'm Tank Spencer. He's Jeremy Greene. We will be with you this afternoon on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM. 880 AM and 1400 for the Sports Tank with Jeremy Greene. Heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Weekdays 3 to 5. Back here tomorrow morning at 10 here in the Wicked Weed studio. Yeah, don't forget to check out our friends at Manscaped, manscaped.com. Use the promo code Sportsocracy. Save yourself 20% today and free worldwide shipping. Sweet tea. Sweet tea chugging is going to happen
it's
today.
Gonna happen.
Can we put out the single video?
We can try.
Yeah, we should do that.
Again, a lot of shit to do today. So. I didn't even think about it until 11:40.
Eventually, we're going to use all of these cups back here, and Jeremy is going to come through with the sweet tea chugging. I showed him a video yesterday of a guy who chugged an entire gallon of sweet tea in 25 seconds, and I think it scared him a little bit.
No, I just didn't think about it. There's 2 of us. A lot of shit that goes on here. Oh, I didn't think about it until you just said it, if I was being really honest with you.
Oh, no, I was thinking...
Which is weird, because I put something in that refrigerator earlier and still didn't notice it.
We will get to the sweet tea chugging as soon as possible. We will be back here tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. here in the Wicked Weed studio. Check out our friends at wickedweedbrewing.com. Wicked Weed Brewing. Drink different. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.